Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Inshallah, we will now be having our 16th dars during the month of Ramadan, even though it is the 19th fast in the Philippines because of not having dars on the days of Friday. The topic of today's dars is the last 10 days or the last ashra of the month of Ramadan, and I will focus on today on the blessings of sitting in i'tikaf, what is i'tikaf, and other matters related to that, inshallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Amma ba'du fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. وَإِذْ جَعَلْنَا الْبَيْتَ مَثَابَةً لِلنَّاسِ وَأَمْنًا وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مَّقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلًّى وَعَهِدْنَا إِلَىٰ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْمَاعِيلَ أَن طَهِّرَا بَيْتِيَ لِلطَّائِفِينَ وَالْعَاكِفِينَ وَالرُّكَّعِ السُّجُودِ. After the recitation of the Tashahhud, I have recited verse number 126 of Surah Al-Baqarah. Allah Ta'ala says in this verse, "And remember the time when we made the house, Al-Bayt, the house, referring to Khana Kaaba, referring to the Kaaba in Makkah. We made the house a place of return for mankind." The English translation is resort, but what that means is a place where people return again and again. "And a place of security. And take ye the station of Ibrahim as a place of prayer. And we commanded Ibrahim and Ishmael, saying, Purify my house for those who perform the circuit, those who do the tawaf of Khana Kaaba, and for those who remain therein for devotion, those who sit in i'tikaf in the Khana Kaaba for devotion, and those who bow down and fall prostrate in prayer." So first of all, like I said, today is 19th of Ramadan in the Philippines. So inshallah from tomorrow or from the 21st, the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan will be starting. In one of the hadiths of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned in Baihaqi, it is mentioned that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said that the first 10 days of the month of Ramadan are of mercy, the second 10 days of the month of Ramadan are of forgiveness, and then the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan are for protection from hellfire. So we will now be, inshallah, soon be entering the last 10 days during the month of Ramadan. About Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it is mentioned in a hadith. Hazrat Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha narrates, وَأَنْ عَائِشَةَ قَالَتْ كَانَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ يَجْتَهِدُ فِي الْأَشْرِ الْأَوَاخِرِ مَا لَا يَجْتَهِدُ فِي غَيْرِهِ. This is from Sahih al-Muslim. The Hazrat Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha narrated that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to focus extra hard, and he used to strive, he used to do jihad, extra striving during the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan, the like of which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not do in any other days. Meaning when the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan came, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave special focus to these last 10 days of the month of Ramadan. Similar thing is mentioned in another hadith of Hazrat Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha. وَأَنْهَا قَالَتْ كَانَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ إِذَا دَخَلَ الْأَشْرُ. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam entered the last 10 days, here it only mentions 10, but it's referring to the last 10 days. شَدَّ مِيزَرَهُ وَأَحْيَا لَيْلَهُ وَأَيْقَظَ أَهْلَهُ. That when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam entered the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to tighten his belt. This is an idiom in the Arabic language which is used here to signify that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to get ready for something. You know, when we get ready, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to tighten his belt, that he's now ready for a big task. So when the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan used to come, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to become extra efficient. And what was the sign of his extra efficiency during these last 10 days? وَأَحْيَا لَيْلَهُ. That Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to bring his nights to life. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to awaken his nights. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to pray in the majority of the night. And وَأَيْقَظَ أَهْلَهُ, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam not only pray himself, but during the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to take extra effort or special effort in waking up in his family as well, in asking his family to pray with him during the night as well. So we know that the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan are very special. And in one of the hadiths it is mentioned that if there were any weaknesses in the past 20 days, they used to correct those weaknesses or make up for those weaknesses in the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan. One of the blessings of the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan is Laylatul Qadr. Inshallah, I will give maybe one or two dars separately on this topic. Laylatul Qadr is mentioned in the Holy Quran as well. And Allah Ta'ala has mentioned Laylatul Qadri khayrun min alfi shahr. Laylatul Qadr is better than 1,000 months. And if you divide 1,000 months into year, that makes it more than 80 years of life. And you know, that's more than a normal life that a person lives. So Laylatul Qadr, if a person is able to find Laylatul Qadr, that is better than his entire life. So a person should strive for the finding of the Laylatul Qadr. And what do we know about Laylatul Qadr? We know that Laylatul Qadr is also in the last 10 nights of the month of Ramadan, specifically in the last 10 odd nights of the month of Ramadan, meaning the night of the 21st, 23rd, 25, 27 and 29 of Ramadan. So because of Laylatul Qadr and because of it being the end, the last stretch of the month of Ramadan, Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to be extra efficient, used to try extra hard. The word used in one of the hadiths that I just read was yajtahidu, that he used to do extra jihad. He used to strive very keenly and very efficiently in the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan. One of the ways Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to do this was by sitting in i'tiqaf. I just read the verse of the Holy Quran which I read. The word was used there also, akifin. Akifin are those people who sit in i'tiqaf. Now the literal meaning of the word i'tiqaf is to remove oneself from, to separate oneself and to remove oneself from society. So that is the literal meaning of i'tiqaf, that a person should remove himself from worldly things, from worldly day-to-day life, and should focus on something specifically. Now in terms of religion, in terms of Islam, it is mentioned in the books of fiqh that i'tiqaf refers to al-labathu fil masjidi ma'as sawmi wa niyatil i'tiqafi. That i'tiqaf means staying in the masjid during the month, and I will explain this, that this is specifically during the month of Ramadan also. The masnoon i'tiqaf is staying in the masjid while one is fasting for devotion and for finding the pleasure of Allah. So in terms of Islamically speaking, i'tiqaf means to stay in a masjid, to devote oneself for the sake of Islam, for the sake of the pleasure of Allah, and for the sake of finding the love of Allah. Now i'tiqaf, generally speaking, just means to remove oneself from society in order to develop a relationship with God. And it is not something which is only found in Islam, but it is something which was a common practice among the holy people, among the saintly people before Islam as well. For example, the verse of the Holy Quran which I recited in the beginning from Suratul Baqarah, Allah Ta'ala has mentioned that Hazrat Ibrahim and Hazrat Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam were commanded by Allah to keep Khana Kaaba clean for those people who were coming there to do tawaf, to do the circuit, and also for those people who come there to sit in i'tiqaf. So it tells us that as long ago as the time of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, there were people who used to sit in i'tiqaf, meaning they used to separate themselves from the worldly desires, from the worldly tensions and from the worldly work, to focus on devotion to Allah and finding the love and closeness of Allah. Another example in the Holy Quran is mentioned of that of Hazrat Maryam alayhi salam, the mother of Sayyidina Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. It is mentioned in the Holy Quran, وَذْكُرْ فِي الْكِتَابِ مَرْيَمَ إِذْ انْتَبَسَتْ مِنْ أَهْلِهَا مَكَانًا شَرْقِيًّا وَاتَّخَذَتْ مِنْ دُونِهِمْ حِجَابًا. The word i'tiqaf is not exactly used there, but what is mentioned here that Hazrat Maryam alayhi salam, she separated herself from her family into the eastern part of her house, and there she focused on worship of Allah. And it was during this time when she was devoted to Allah, not talking to her family. She was in a separate corner, that she was given the glad tidings of Hazrat Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. Similarly, we find that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, before Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, even Hazrat Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, it is mentioned that Hazrat Musa alayhi salatu wasalam separated himself from his people, from his society, for 40 nights. He planned to do it for 30 nights, but then Allah added another 10 nights. So for 40 nights, Hazrat Musa alayhi salatu wasalam spent in separation, in seclusion, working, worshipping and focusing on the love and devotion of Allah. We find a similar example with Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that Hazrat sallallahu alaihi wasallam, even before Islam, even before Sharia of Islam was ordained, or it was revealed upon Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to separate himself from the society and go to the cave of Hira. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sometimes used to spend weeks there worshipping Allah, asking for Allah's guidance, asking for Allah's help and love. So separating yourself from society is a very potent solution. It is a very potent medicine, you can say, for developing one's spirituality. And this is a common thing found even in other than itikaf also. This is a common thing found among the Muslim saints as well. Even Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam, he separated himself for 40 days. When he was, and then because of that, he was given the prophecy, or he was given the glad tidings of a promised son, among many other glad tidings. So that was one of the glad tidings that was given to him when he was in seclusion. Why seclusion is so important is because in regular days, even if we are trying to spend as much time as we can in worship of Allah, in reading Holy Quran as much as possible, in fasting, we cannot give 100% of our mind to worship of Allah and to developing a relationship with Allah. But if a person really wants to focus 100% on that, itikaf or seclusion is one of the things which are mentioned. One of the things that a person could try to do. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it is mentioned about him. Again, Hazrat Aisha radhiyallahu ta'ala anha, an Aishata, anna nabiyya sallallahu alaihi wasallam kana ya'taqiful ashra al-awakhira min Ramadana hatta tawaffahu Allahu summa taqafa azwajuhu min ba'di. This is muttafaqun alayh. Bukhari and Muslim both have narrated this. The Sayyidina Aisha radhiyallahu ta'ala anha narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam during his life, he used to sit in seclusion during the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan. In another hadith, it is mentioned that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to sit in the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan, but in his last year of life, he sat for the last 20 days. He sat for 2 ashra during the month of Ramadan. But what we call as masnoon itikaf, so this is what I want to explain now. A person can sit in itikaf for other than the month of Ramadan also. Like I gave you the example of promised Messiah alayhi salam, that he separated himself, he sat in seclusion for 40 nights. It was not the month of Ramadan. But the masnoon itikaf, which has to do with with the month of Ramadan, which is also mentioned with the mention of Ramadan in Surah Al-Baqarah in verse 188 or 100, verse 188. It is of Surah Al-Baqarah. Itikaf is mentioned with Ramadan. That we call masnoon itikaf, meaning the itikaf which was the sunnah of which was the regular sunnah of Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because Rasulullah, as I just told you, sat in itikaf in Hira as well, the cave of Hira as well. But we cannot call it masnoon itikaf. Masnoon itikaf is for 10 nights. So in the last 10 nights of the month of Ramadan. But a person, whenever he feels like he needs some time, he needs to take some time off to develop his relationship with Allah, a person can sit in itikaf at any time. It is mentioned in one of the ahadith that Hazrat Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu told Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he had made another, or what we call a promise, a vow with Allah, that he will sit one night in itikaf in Khana Kaaba, only one night. So he did so. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked him to fulfill his promise. So Hazrat Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu sat in itikaf only for one night. But that we cannot call it masnoon itikaf. A person who wants to sit in masnoon itikaf, that was the regular sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, must sit in itikaf in the last 10 nights of the month of Ramadan. That is why the fuqaha have said that the time to sit in itikaf is on the after the Fajr Salat on the 20th of Ramadan. So today in Philippines is 19th of Ramadan, Tuesday. So tomorrow, Wednesday morning, Fajr time, those of you who wish to sit in Masnoon Itikaf, which was the regular sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, should separate themselves in a masjid or in a house. I will explain that later. After Fajr time tomorrow, Wednesday, that is the 20th of Ramadan. That is when the Masnoon Itikaf should start. Now, let me first present to you some blessings of Itikaf which are mentioned in a hadith of Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In one of the hadiths, it is mentioned that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that a person who sits in Itikaf, Allah has mercy on him because he sits himself for Itikaf and completely puts himself in front of Allah and says that, "Oh Allah, I swear by your name that I will not move from this place until you have mercy on me. That, oh Allah, now I'm here, I have completely devoted myself. I'm not doing anything other than worshipping you. I'm trying not to think of anything other than you. I'm solely focused on you. Now I will not move from here unless you have mercy on me." And when a person shows this kind of devotion, then Allah Ta'ala also turns towards that person in mercy and in love. In another hadith, it is mentioned that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "The person who sits for itikaf for the sake of Allah, even for one day, Allah makes between him and hell 3 ditches wider than the length between east and west." Yeah, like I said, the last 10 days are to save us from the fire of hell. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said that a person who even sits in itikaf for one night, Allah will make 3 ditches between him and between the hellfire. And each ditch will be equal to the distance between east and west. So if that is the blessing of sitting in itikaf for one night, imagine sitting in a proper itikaf, the Masnoon itikaf, for 10 nights. Then in another hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "The person performing itikaf is safeguarded from all types of sins. He attains the rewards of all the good deeds that he had done before performing itikaf as if he is doing them even now." This means that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that all the good deeds that you were doing before, that you're not able to do during the month of doing itikaf because you're sitting alone or for whatever reason, all those blessings will continue for you while you're sitting in itikaf. So you will be getting the blessing of itikaf, you will be getting the blessings of whatever good actions you're doing while sitting in itikaf, plus you will be getting blessings for those things which you used to do before itikaf. Allah will continue to bless you for those things as well. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like I already mentioned, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that the last 10 days are especially important and one should try to save themselves from the hellfire. So these are some of the blessings of itikaf which are mentioned in the books of ahadith. Now let me mention to you some rules and regulations we can say about itikaf, that when we sit in itikaf, how should we sit. So first thing I have mentioned that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to sit in itikaf after the Salat of Fajr. So if we want to follow the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we should sit in itikaf on the morning of the 20th after Salatul Fajr. Now the Salatul Fajr part is taken from hadith. The Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha said that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to sit in itikaf after Salatul Fajr. That is mentioned in hadith. The reason we sit on the morning of the 20th instead of the 21st is because sometimes the month of Ramadan is 29 days and sometimes the month of Ramadan is 30 days. So what is mentioned in hadith is that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to sit in itikaf for 10 days. So that is why we sit on the morning of the 20th. This way sometimes our itikaf will be 10 days, sometimes it will be 11, but it will not be less than 10 days. So the fuqaha majority have agreed that the best time to sit in itikaf is to sit in itikaf during the after Fajr Salat on the 20th of Ramadan. So again for our Philippines Jamaat, that will be tomorrow, Wednesday, after Fajr Salat. Now during itikaf, what can you do and what cannot you? Before that, where should we sit in itikaf? So itikaf is supposed to be in masjid. In one of the hadiths of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it is mentioned that itikaf should be in Masjid al-Jami. meaning it should be in a masjid where regular salat ba jamaat is happening. And in Holy Quran also it is mentioned وَأَنْتُمْ آكِفُونَ فِي الْمَسَاجِدِ. So the proper way to sit itikaf is to sit itikaf in masjid. In regular times, fuqaha have said not to sit in itikaf at home, but itikaf should be sit in masjid. But nowadays we are going through coronavirus, and because of that there are many problems. Because of that, itikaf is allowed, and fuqaha have mentioned different things where, of course they have not mentioned coronavirus, but they have mentioned other situations where it is allowed for a person to sit in itikaf at their home. So since we will most likely, in most of the jamaats, we may not be able to sit in masjid, but if you're planning to sit itikaf at home, you should dedicate a separate place. It should not be, oh, I'm sitting itikaf at home and then your life should be normal. No, you should separate a separate room or a separate corner or a separate place in your room that becomes your masjid for that time, for the next 10 days. And you spend those times, your time during the month of, during itikaf in that place. Now, what can you do and what can't you do during while you are sitting in itikaf? Number one, when a person is sitting in itikaf, he's not allowed to leave the masjid without any necessary needs. So what are necessary needs? Fuqaha have mentioned going to washroom is one of them. So let's say if you have devoted one of your room as itikaf, then you try to remain in that room and you only leave for, let's say, going to washroom and other important things. Hazrat Masih Maud has also mentioned it does not mean to completely stay locked down in your room. In one of the riwayat, in one of the narrations, Hazrat Masih Maud told two people who were sitting in itikaf in masjid in Qadian. Hazrat Masih Maud said, you are allowed to go to the roof of the masjid to get some sunlight, because you're sitting in here and it's very cold nowadays. So if you want to go outside just to get some fresh air, to get some sunlight, that is okay. But we should try our utmost to spend as much time in the masjid, and in our case, since we might be doing it at homes, in that special place which you have segregated to sit in itikaf. Secondly, a person should not be doing random talking while he is gone. So in one of the ahadith, it is mentioned, Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala has mentioned that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to tell us not to go offer janazah of anyone, not to go visit a sick person, and not to talk to random people while you are sitting in itikaf. So Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala said that if we had to go, like if she was sitting itikaf in the masjid and she had to go home because of some need, let's say even to go to washroom, and there was someone sick, she said while walking we will ask a sick person, how are you? But we will not go specially to meet a sick person. So to meet a sick person, to go to a janazah, those are not genuine needs. Genuine needs can be, another genuine need can be going to Jummah Salat. So if inshallah coronavirus restrictions are lifted and we are able to have Jummah Salat and a person is sitting in itikaf, he can go to Jummah Salat and then come back. So that is allowed. So those kind of things are considered necessities, but others are not. Now another example is, what if you have an emergency? So for example, there is a person during the time of Imam Mahdi ﷺ who had to go to court. He was summoned as a witness in a court case. So he ended up leaving his itikaf and going there. So when he was leaving, Hazrat Masih Maud ﷺ mentioned, there was no need for you to sit in itikaf if you were planning to go to court cases. So you are allowed to leave in exceptional circumstances, but that is against the proper protocols of itikaf. In Fiqh Ahmadiyya, it is mentioned that fuqaha have tried to create some ease for people to have more people sit in itikaf. So because if itikaf, so for example, fuqaha have said that if you have something extremely important, you can go out and come back and sit in itikaf, even though Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not do that. So they have created, fuqaha have given this leniency to people, so more and more people can sit in itikaf. Then it is mentioned that, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to put his head outside of masjid, and Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha would comb his hair and clean his hair. So taking a bath, those things are allowed. You are not allowed to have relationships with your wife during while you are sitting in itikaf. It is mentioned in the Holy Quran not to have relationship with your wife while you are akifuna fil masajid. Hazrat Muslih Maud Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu, the second Khalifa, has mentioned that this has to do more with the sanctity of masjid than itikaf. But even if we are sitting at home, if we are sitting in itikaf at home, we should not be having a physical relationship with our wives, or if it's a woman, with our husbands. So these things are prohibited. In today's time, those people who sit in itikaf, they should not take their cell phone or watch movies and be on social media all the time. The purpose of itikaf is to spend as much time in the worship of Allah and devotion of Allah. Now, these are some of the important matters of itikaf that I wanted to mention in front of you. I think I have covered most of them. Let me quickly go through different things if I can. One is, do you have to fast during the month of Ramadan while you're in itikaf? The answer is yes. You have to sit in, because Allah itikafa illa bisawmin is something that is mentioned, that Allah, and then in Hadith, in Holy Quran it is also mentioned, summa atimmu siyama ila al-layli wa la tubashiruhunna wa antum aqifuna fil masajid. So itikaf is done while you are fasting. So if you are planning to sit in itikaf, you must fast for last 10 days. But like I said, some people might not be healthy enough to fast. For those people, if they still want to sit in itikaf, we cannot call it masnoon itikaf, because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam always used to fast while he was sitting in itikaf. But a person who wants to spend some time and become close to Allah, he can still do so. But in the masnoon itikaf, fasting is a must. Now, another question that is asked about itikaf is, what if you have missed some fasts before itikaf? Meaning, it is in the past 20 days, you were not able to fast 4 days, 5 days. Can you still sit in itikaf? The answer is yes. Itikaf has nothing to do with that. You can make up those fasts later, and you can still sit in itikaf, provided that you try to sit fast during the last 10 days. If you cannot fast because of some sickness or etc., then of course Allah is understanding and Allah is all merciful. But a person should plan to fast while he is sitting in itikaf in the last 10 days. Sleeping in the masjid, yes, of course you are allowed to sleep. If you have, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to put a separate bed in the corner of the masjid, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to sleep there during the month of Ramadan. You are allowed to leave. I've already mentioned what conditions you can leave, what conditions you cannot leave. Going to school or going to office while you're sitting in itikaf. So some people, they say, okay, can I go to office in the morning and then sit at itikaf at night? The answer is no, it will not be considered a masnoon itikaf. But again, to repeat, that if a person wants to get benefit from that, from the part of devotion, yes, he can do that, but again, it will not fall under the masnoon itikaf, which was the regular sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You should not be working during those 10 days. And nowadays, because of COVID-19, maybe most of you are free. You're not allowed to go. So it is a great time to sit in itikaf. Maybe you will not get a chance like this again because of your work, your school, etc., etc. So if you are free, you can do that. Another question that is asked about itikaf is, can I sit in the itikaf for less than 10 days? That I have mentioned before, that the masnoon itikaf, the itikaf of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which was his regular sunnah, was 10 days. But if a person wants, yes, they can sit in itikaf for 9 days, 7 days, 5 days, 3 days. Fuqaha have mentioned 3 to be the minimum amount, but like I have mentioned, as Umar Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu once mentioned to sit in itikaf only for 1 night. But Fuqaha have usually mentioned 3 being the minimum amount of itikaf. But again, masnoon itikaf is 10 nights. You can sit in itikaf for as long as you want, or as less as you want, but we cannot consider it the masnoon itikaf of Hazrat Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I've already mentioned working in colleges. I've already mentioned not going to funerals, not going to meet the sick people, not going to meet the family, etc., etc. For food, the proper way is that if you have a family, your family can cook your food for you and give it to you. But for example, if a person has no other, if a person is living single and he has to get food from outside, then yes, he is allowed to go outside, get his food and come back right away. The main point is, we should understand the hikmah of itikaf, that you should try to cut yourself from the worldly pursuits as much as possible, and try to focus as close to 100% as you can on devotion to Allah and trying to become close and close to Allah. So yes, you are allowed to go, let's say to buy food, but then you should not spend all day roaming around and talking to people. You should come right away and you should focus on itikaf. So itikaf, you should try to talk less to people. If you're sitting at home, it should not be that after every 1 hour you leave your room, you come outside, you talk to your children, your wife, your relatives, and then you go back. It should not be so. The focus should solely be on the worship of Allah. Now the last thing, when does the itikaf end? Itikaf end when the moon is sighted. So you are sitting in itikaf on the night of 29th and it is announced that the moon has been sighted, you can finish your itikaf. So these are some of the matters of itikaf that I wanted to talk about. Now in the end, again, let me try to convince or try to suggest that it is very beneficial for a person to sit in itikaf, especially nowadays because of coronavirus. I know that a lot of places are still under ECQ. So if you have no work and if you have no school and you can focus, then you should try to sit in itikaf. It will be a great spiritual uplifting for you. It was the sunnah, regular sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He always used to do that in the month of Ramadan, and we should also try to do that as well. But just in case you cannot sit for one reason or another, we should still specially focus on the last 10 nights of the month of Ramadan, because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to focus on them specially. And women, even part of the hadith I forgot to translate, the hadith where Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha says that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to sit in itikaf in the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan. She goes on to mention that after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away, us, the wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, used to do the same. So itikaf can be set by a woman or a man, either can sit in itikaf. So whether you are sitting in itikaf or not, I urge you to sit in itikaf if you can. But if you cannot, try to focus specially on the last 10 nights of the Ramadan, especially the aspect which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned, bringing the nights to life. So in the last 10 days of Ramadan, our special focus should be Qiyam al-Layl, staying up at night as much as possible and worshipping Allah and praying to Allah. May Allah Ta'ala enable me and enable all of us to take utmost benefit from these last 10 days of the month of Ramadan. Ameen. Allahumma ameen. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad wa barik wa sallim innaka hamidun majid.